Well, folks, it has finally happened. That's right. Netflix has managed to body slam Disney when it comes to the sports category. That's right. Netflix is going straight for ESPN, and I am here for it. What a great story that came out of nowhere today, but the writing was on the wall. And you're going to say, well, what are you talking about, Culture? How was this, foreshadowed? Well, Netflix is in for a change, and some of that change was indicated a little bit earlier in midday yesterday when we saw that Scott Stuber over at Netflix was leaving as the head of film, the chief of film over there. He had been signaling this move, I guess, for a while internally, but we only learned about it yesterday. Why is he moving on to so-called greener pastures to start his own entity? Well, because they're changing the way they approach film and film production over there, and their approach when it comes to content overall. So he's been there since 2017, according to the story, and as of March, he's starting his own media company, as I mentioned. The direction for Netflix has always been a little different when it comes to premium films to be consumed in streaming, and I imagine they're pivoting to a formula that's similar to what other streamers do, which, as mentioned here, is a theatrical window first, and then moving over into streaming as well. So obviously, we see that with Apple and their films, Killers of the Flower Moon and Napoleon. But it looks like Stuber's going to stick around, as I mentioned, to help out Bella Bayaria, and that person will find a replacement for his position. But why is he stepping out? Well, there's a whole lot of reasons. Obviously, the strategy over there has changed, but probably because the emphasis on sports is about to go through the roof. We've got a major announcement today, dropped just this morning, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Netflix announces its first major venture into live sports, making the mouse cry. And probably is the reason that they're divvying up little slices of ESPN to these leagues, so they're not having to spit out giant sums of money, as you can see here, like $5 billion for 10 years of WWE's Raw. Now, according to the story, which we're going to walk through real quickly, Netflix acquired the rights to air WWE's popular weekly program Raw, making obviously their first foray into sports programming. But starting next January is when we're going to start seeing this, and Netflix will exclusively stream Raw in the United States and also abroad, and air wrestling's circuit's other major weekly programs like SmackDown, and pay per-view events outside the U.S. because obviously those contract rights are owned by someone else. $5 billion over 10 years. My goodness, that's good money. And shares of Netflix obviously climbed 2%, as did shares in TKO Group, which is part of Endeavor, to the tune of 20%. You can understand why they want to take Endeavor and all of its groups private now. They're making some big moves. Endeavor's doing rather well for being a casting agency, or excuse me, not a talent agency, not casting agency. Netflix now joins fellow technology investor darlings like Amazon and Apple in the live sports space. That's right. They've joined the tech giants. The deal with the NFL that Amazon Prime inked was $1.2 billion. Apple was $250 million for the MLS and $85 million for MLB. WWE's focus on drama storylines is basically reflecting Netflix's strategy, which I could have told you, because wrestling is a wonderfully entertaining physical sports soap opera, for lack of a better way to say it. And you're going to get to see a lot of associated programming, supposedly similar to Drive to Survive with Formula One drivers, the quarterback series that was following NFL stars. But the media rights fees really are what makes WWE go. So this deal is no surprise to me. I have a feeling that ESPN is going to start to scramble, which means ESPN's going to start to scramble, and Disney's going to really be trying to sell as much of ESPN to other entities as possible. They've got to get those rights fees down, and they've got to do it fast, and they have to secure rights left and right. Now, this is interesting, and I'm not going to give you any investment advice here. That's not what I do. That's not what this channel's about, nor would you ever, or should you ever, take advice from somebody online that's not a trusted professional. So there you are. But I would imagine that because you've got financial results coming up here for the fourth quarter for Netflix, the timing on this was not missed by anybody. Looks like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is going to be on the board of directors for TKO Group. And yeah, that's not going to hurt his wallet at all. He is currently one of the highest paid celebrities at $270 million in gross earnings. And I'm sure that little bit of board money isn't going to hurt him much. Maybe he'll stop getting so physical in film and other places for the future. We'll see. Maybe he pulls completely out of wrestling. They really do need some help with storylines over there. Maybe they'll consult with him on some stuff like that. But suffice it to say, ESPN has just ultimately been body slammed. They've probably taken a flying elbow from the top rope. You name your wrestling analogy. They're in big trouble, and so you're going to see some more wheeling dealing coming out of ESPN at a time when Disney is at its absolute weakest. The board fight that I dropped a video on earlier today is intensifying with a couple of minor players getting involved that don't really mean much. But you're going to see Peltz intensify and scale his efforts to not only secure board seats, but to maybe upend Disney's entire board and perhaps Iger's control of the company. We'll be having more reporting on that on other streams over the course of this week, I would imagine. And I know that WDW Pro's got a story coming out about this, and I know that Mr. H over at H Reviews and the H Cast has been covering this extensively. It's a decent chance that if this video airs before the H Cast, you'll hear us talking about this as well. Hey, but what do you think? Do you think this is a good move? This $5 billion for 10 years of WWE's Raw? Is Raw worth $2 billion a year here in the United States? Excuse me, not $2 billion. Is Raw worth, sorry about that, $500 million a year? That's a good question. And I might have made that mistake more than once in this video. Oh well, only human. I am looking forward to seeing the results of this, but I'm also looking forward to the balance of the sports world coverage shifting. That landscape is tumultuous right now at best, and I would anticipate that more deals will displace Disney's ESPN very quickly. On that note, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya.